Good morning, everybody. It's afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. It's Tuesday, April 4th, 2 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to check in on the cryptocurrency space. Certainly a lot of attention on Dogecoin the last couple of days with Elon Musk changing some things on Twitter to have the Dogecoin logo. Is it supposed to be a April Fool's prank that was very late? Or does it mean something deeper? I don't know. But perhaps price action can help us answer that question. We're going to look at the broader market very quickly and then check in on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, and then the altcoins that are getting our attention. And the altcoins that get our attention are based on their BTC pairings. So we're going to keep hammering this lesson home so we know what we want to be looking for laggard bulls to be catching a bid and getting our attention. Before we get to the charts, we've got indicators. Posting a link in the comments here and in the description of the video. So essentially we have the Trader Pro indicators for crypto. People wanted them for stocks. So we've got the back burner for stocks on TradingView now. We've got Trade Keeper, which is something that Lori came up with. And we've got the Trend Scout, which is something that a TheChartGuys member, Mark, has created. It's a good one. And there is a video I put out yesterday that goes over in depth all of what those indicators do. So finding that real quick, posting that as well, and then we'll get to the charts. All right, so the NASDAQ is watching for daily consolidation to shape up, and the S&P 500 started daily consolidation today. So we broke the low of yesterday, daily consolidation underway, plenty of space for a higher low to form. We know this daily consolidation is going to be inevitable, and it's just a question of, is the NASDAQ going to follow as well, whether that's today or tomorrow? So broader market consolidation, no red flags. We're going to look for daily higher lows to be the result of this pullback, and we'll be watching to see how does this impact the cryptocurrency space. But for now, Bitcoin saw its weakness yesterday after the stock market closed. Bitcoin had this big flush down and ended up with a nice bounce in response to that weakness, and just another hold of daily EMA 12. So daily EMA 12 keeps holding at this point, and my simple statement remains, if daily EMA 12 is support, then the bulls have absolute complete control of the daily chart. So we came close to losing it yesterday, but still clinging on. Look at where we closed, literally right on it. And at this point, we would need to see a bear break of 26.5 for bulls to clearly be losing the control that they have. If you are a Bitcoin bull, you want to follow gold. Ever since the banking situation started, is that what, 2.5 weeks ago now, maybe 3 weeks ago? We know that crypto and metals and tech, these names benefited from that situation. And gold is doing exactly what the Bitcoin bulls hope to do, which is top out, trade sideways, grind daily EMA 12, and then get your big bull move up. So gold hitting the highest price in months, the highest price since the banking fiasco started, and Bitcoin is hoping to do the exact same thing. Hold that EMA 12, get that pop up into 30,000 plus. So we're going to be watching for that closely over the coming couple of days. Right now we got some tightening ranges forming, a couple 4-hour inside bars. If the inside bars break bear on Bitcoin, we're going to be looking for an inverse head and shoulders setup, where it would be the left shoulder. If we fail 28.5 and pull back, we're going to look for the right shoulder to try and form to confirm a 4-hour uptrend. But overall, burden's on bears. We know that much. The burden is on bears to prove to us that Bitcoin is weak. And they came close yesterday, but bulls had a nice save. Hourly oversold conditions leading to a solid bounce. Dominance chart is testing the recent lows. And again, a sideways dominance chart shows us that pretty much altcoins and Bitcoin are doing the same thing. There's no major differences between the two, but we're testing support. So we're coming close to a level where we see the lowest, or I should say, the strongest the altcoins have been comparative to Bitcoin in the last couple of weeks. If we break 4715 and 47, 47.15 and 47. Couple levels we're watching closely. ETH, nice bull break, already getting the higher high. Bulls do not want to see this 12-hour megaphone continue to come into play. which it possibly is still at this point, so it's still on the table. But either way, we've got space for a 4-hour higher low, a 12-hour higher low on consolidation. And the fact that ETH is hitting the highest price in months is, again, a good sign. So just a question of how much follow through do we get. 1900 psychological is resistance, and then 1958 is the next level that I'm looking at from there. And ETH-BTC gave us a clue. So ETH-BTC was tightening up on the daily, and then once it broke bull, then obviously we know that ETH is seeing relative strength comparative to Bitcoin. The first indication here was this break of this resistance, and then from there we followed through and broke 2 other levels. So there was one lower high that broke. It was the first break of the daily lower highs that we've seen in weeks, and then the other followed through above the other resistance levels. So if you are scouting laggard altcoin bulls after the weakness that we've seen in altcoins compared to Bitcoin over the last couple of weeks, look for sideways ranges. And ETH is a good example of that. We could look at that and say, we know Ethereum volatility is coming. This sideways range is going to break sometime in the next couple of days. I don't know if it's going to be a bull break or a bear break, but I know to prepare for it and be watching very closely, set my alerts, have my trade game plan laid out. And in this instance, it was a bull break. And we had the same thing happen with Doge. So we know Doge is a news event right now. If you'll notice what altcoins, well, I guess we haven't been covering Doge, but we were talking about Doge in the chat room, and we've been seeing clues prior to the news coming out. We saw XRP relative strength prior to the court case news that led to a big pump. And some members, shout out to Justin in the chat room, was looking at Doge and highlighting some shift into relative strength. And then a couple days later, Elon Musk headline leads to the pump. So Doge BTC was sideways. Again, find the altcoins whose BTC pairings are sideways and watch for the pop. And so Justin was interested in Dogecoin right here, 2 days before the news, because of that big relative strength candle, the strongest we had been compared to Bitcoin in 2 weeks. And at that point, Doge was breaking over a double top, the US dollar pairing. So he was recognizing a technical shift, which, in hindsight, probably people with inside information, someone at Twitter knows that Elon Musk is going to change the logo to Doge, and they front load a little bit, and then, the traders recognize some volume. And I mean, it's just let's try that again. It's just a catalyst event where there's some inside information. So there's some volume associated with that. And then traders that are paying attention recognize that. And so they make an entry, and then it just builds on itself. And then of course the news comes out and we spike higher. But it all started with a sideways BTC pairing and then that bull break following through. So knowing that, let's find other altcoins that have sideways BTC pairings. Look at Sand. Sand is going to see volatility in the near-term future. This last week plus of trading is the tightest that Sand has gotten on the BTC pairing in probably years. I mean, look at this. It's just flat sideways. So what has to happen is the bulls need to break 2265 and 2289 for a move to take place. And the US dollar pairing is nice and tight as well, but we need to ensure that both pairings are breaking bull from their sideways ranges. And there were a couple others I was watching. I was watching Link BTC. Look at its daily equilibrium. Low, high, higher, low, lower, high, higher, low. It's a beauty. It's tightening up. And if this keeps up for another few days, it'll be the tightest we've been in a while. And then we just watch for, essentially what it leads to is when these sideways ranges break bull on both of these pairings, that's the day where this altcoin is at the top of the list in terms of, who's the strongest name out there today. It's the name that gets the sideways range bull break. So watch Link, ADA BTC had a sideways range. It broke bull, not in a meaningful, powerful way, but a little grind up move. So that's a little bit of a difference. For me, that's a bit of a red flag. I want more follow through than that. So ADA BTC broke bull, but it's the kind of bull break where I would say, all right, maybe I'm taking a little bit of profit because that's not the follow through that I want to see. I want that big green candle, a couple green candles in a row. and ADA is not doing that at this point. So keep an eye on Sand, keep an eye on Link, and even if you're not trading them, observe, learn for the next time around. Watch these sideways BTC pairings break. If they break bear, obviously there's no bull trade there, and you move on to the next trade. But if they break bull, that's when we get the laggard kind of action. XRP, we're scouting a daily high or low, testing EMA 12 support, watching for a potential falling wedge type of pattern here. So I'd be watching this. We're testing resistance right now. If we pull back from here, keep an eye on this downtrending support. We're also closing in on 4-hour oversold conditions. If we were to drop to a lower low, then we'd be looking for 4-hour oversold to try and mark a daily high or low. There's a lot of space for a daily lower high as well. So obviously the momentum has been lost for XRP, and unless there's another news pump, we're likely just going to trade sideways for a while. Once we find the daily high or low, we'll look to form a tightening range. XRP BTC is doing the same thing as far as looking for a daily high or low. Let's see if it's a falling wedge here as well. Look like it's a little bit stronger. So it's not quite a falling wedge, but we got a nice downtrend resistance line. So that's a name to be keeping an eye out for, a daily high or low to form inside bar at the moment on the US dollar pairing. And just a question of, do we reject from daily EMA 12 resistance and then try and shape up a 4-hour trend change? I just stopped out break even on a short. Just trying to get the KRE Regional Bank ETF hourly lower high for a bear flag. Sold partial profit on this pullback. Stop over the high. Stop out for the rest. Break even. No biggie. All right. Who else did I want to highlight today? I think that's about it. Is Mana BTC is not the same setup as Sand, I don't believe. Nope, not quite as tight. So top watch next couple days, Sand, and top watch later this week is going to be Link. Sand will probably break before Link, but not necessarily. All right, I'm reading questions now. Appreciate you all tuning in. Thanks for the likes. 36 likes. We can do a little better than that, I think. Hello, Elizabeth. Greetings from Laguna Beach. Are the indicators included in the Trader Pro alerts for membership? So Trader Pro alerts are crypto alerts, and these alerts are everything alerts. So these are something different. They are on TradingView, and they're on TradingView. So different platform and more accessible for more tickers. So you've got your back burner already on Trader Pro alerts for cryptocurrency. We'll probably integrate them eventually, but we got so many messages over the years of, hey, these crypto alerts are great, but I want them for stocks. And so finally putting something out there for stocks after many, many messages. LTC, let's see what Litecoin's doing. So Litecoin, also very tight here on the daily. LTC, BTC is trying to shape up a daily trend change. It is tightening as well. If I don't have a position, I want to see LTC, BTC, one more lower high, one more higher low, and then look for the break. Ideally get as tight as possible for the break to try and have some follow through when it does take place. But keep an eye on that tightening range. Again, we're just treating it like trends. We know that Litecoin has been way weaker than Bitcoin for a very long time, and it's now trying to confirm an uptrend to shift that. And LTC USD is still a ways. I mean, I'd be scouting a weekly lower high compared to 105.69. Of course, if Bitcoin heads over 30,000, and if we get another wave of confidence in crypto, then we can definitely break 105.69. But for me, the more likely scenario is to be watching for a weekly lower high and an equilibrium. And you can see Litecoin was just a stair-step drop with a lower high each week for 4 weeks, and now a higher low each week for 4 weeks. and just watching to see, are we going to set the weekly lower high and tighten up? And if LTC BTC cannot break the daily lower highs, then that increases the probabilities that we're going to see LTC USD set a weekly lower high. Pretty much, we're not going to break that resistance on Litecoin without the BTC pairing confirming an uptrend. KRE might have just stopped me out right at the top there. Still like a rising wedge. Bull break with no follow through. Might have to re-enter after the stream. 5-minute rising wedge, scouting an hourly lower high. It's not a great rising wedge. So we'll check some of these pairings. Phil BTC. Gotta shape. Yeah, that's a good one. Absolutely. You're on the same page. And as Phil is very similar to sand, very tight. Again, if it breaks bear, then it's nothing. Nothing new. Bears keep full control. If it breaks bull, then there's a short-term opportunity there. And I say short term just because we know that means we're just going to zoom out and scout a lower high on a longer term time frame. So it's the kind of setup where ideally I'd be looking to take some profit and then, maybe try and set a stop under the low or at a risk-free point. Yeah, nice and tight. That's a good one. STX. Got to be cautious of a weekly head and shoulders next time we bounce. So STX BTC is what I'm looking at. If we confirm a weekly downtrend, that would be a notable shift, but bulls are going to try and form a weekly higher low compared to 2643, and they're trying to shape up a falling wedge. Got to shift the momentum on the BTC pairing. 12-hour downtrend is nice and clear. Have to break the 12-hour lower highs as the first indication of a weekly lower high. No, a weekly higher low being set. I'm distracted because KRE did stop me out right at the top. Oh, I had my stop 1 penny higher too before I went live. I had my stop at 42.26. I pulled my stop to sell partial at 42.11. I should have gone back to 42.26. 1 penny is the difference maker. Let's see, how much money? Well, we don't know how much money that's going to cost me, but in terms of missed profit. But at this point, it's at least a $400 penny. That's the way it goes. I'm also in an NVDA short where I missed stopping out by a penny. I had my stop right over 278. Goes both ways. AMP, and again, I'm looking at the BTC pairings because I know most alts are weak compared to Bitcoin, and that's where I'm going to get information. Are we standing out? If the BTC pairing catches my eye, then I look at the US dollar pairing and look at, okay, what levels am I going to look to play off of? What are the trends? What are the price levels that need to break for certain trends to confirm? But if something, I look at this and say, all right, we got a daily bounce, but it's still a very clear downtrend, and we're at the weakest that we've been compared to Bitcoin in years, or at least a year. And so I need the BTC pairings to be showing me some kind of reversal pattern shaping up, whether it's just a straight up trend change or a fallen wedge, something like that. Because AMP, USDT, see, it's just a very clear downtrend. EMA 12 on the resistance on the daily. These little spikes are being sold into very quickly. There's a lack of liquidity on this name. Again, the criteria number one of looking bullish is the BTC pairing needs to be showing you signs to be looking bullish. 4-month lower high on the broader market. Definitely keeping an eye out. There's no sign of it, obviously. We have a holiday weekend this week, so no trading on Friday in stocks. and I'm going to do another long-term video check-in. There were a bunch of patterns that have been continuing to play out beautifully from the last long-term video that I did a couple weeks ago. So we'll do an update there. Thanks, Andre. Glad the back burner's going well. Can we see a weekly lower high on Atom? Absolutely. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm viewing this as an equilibrium. They're everywhere. Low, high, higher, low, lower, high, trying for another higher low. If we set it, then it's possible we do that. But the burden's on bulls to confirm a daily uptrend to set the weekly higher low. And then we looked at 1349 as key resistance. Yes, the vertical bars on my trading view are extended hours. Down here in the bottom right, regular trading hours, extended hours. Right click and change stuff around. It's in the settings somewhere. What would make me believe the bear market is over on crypto? I mean, we need a 50% bounce, retracement. 4-hour time frame on Bitcoin, or 4-month time frame on Bitcoin. Retracement, not even close to 382 right now. It's entirely possible that Bitcoin trades range bound for years. And I know having blah, 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 whatever, but if we set a 4-hour, 4-month, I'm going to keep mixing those up because I don't talk about the 4-month often. If we set a 4-month higher low, follow through for 4 or 5 months, set a lower high for 4 months. I mean, next thing you know, we're talking second half of 2024 to be looking for a break of an equilibrium, but the burden's on bulls to see 50% plus retracement to make the equilibrium the most likely scenario, because right now it's a 4-month bear flag still. I don't necessarily think that a 4-month bear flag is the most likely scenario. It's going to take a while for this bounce to play out, but it could be. So bulls definitely need more than what we're seeing right now. And these KRE bears got me. The bulls got me. Jerks. Bunch of jerks. Riot. Just go to Riot divided by MARA if you want to know relative strength and weakness. So Riot has been weaker than MARA the last couple of days, but overall it's been stronger for the last couple of months. Phil, head and shoulders on the weekly. I don't see a clear one. I mean, if you're looking like this. But I'm watching for potential tightening weekly ranges on a lot of altcoins. DYDX, BTC. Trying to change that daily trend. Need that higher low and higher high. I guess everything's marked as 0 because DYDX is so small compared to Bitcoin. Trying to set up the daily trend change to set the weekly higher low. So again, high, low, lower high, trying for the weekly higher low. And there's potential for some nice weekly equilibriums to shape up. Man, I just have to keep glancing over and look at my trade going without me. It's a nice weekly equilibriums potentially shaping up in these altcoins, but in the short term, it's the altcoins that have to prove the weekly higher lows are being set, which is why we're watching for these laggard moves for the altcoins to try and see some follow through and try and catch up. So if you're an altcoin bull looking for weekly higher lows, you want to see this Bitcoin dominance chart start weekly consolidation. And you want to see Bitcoin trade sideways while the altcoins catch up. And I gave an example on Twitter where gold just gave the perfect example from the banking fiasco. Gold shot up and led the way up, the leader of the metals and the miners. It topped out on March 20th. Look at what silver did on March 20th. It topped out. At this point in time, gold was doing a daily equilibrium and sideways. That is a terrible magnet drawing. So gold is doing an equilibrium right here, and silver is playing slow laggard catch-up. The miners did the same thing. Miners topped out on the 20th with gold. Gold is doing this, and the miners just keep grinding higher as laggards. And so, when I made the post a couple days ago, gold was down 2% from the high of March 20th. Silver was up 6%, and the miners were up 3% or something like that. And it's just exactly what crypto does. Crypto has Bitcoin lead. Bitcoin then trades sideways in an ideal, strong crypto environment. Bitcoin then trades sideways, and the altcoins then play catch up as the profits rotate around. And so that's what bulls want to see right now. Bitcoin stays sideways, dominance drop, altcoins catch up. All right. One more. ASTR. So again, another one that's been all bear. It's trying to level out compared to the BTC pairing. It's just tight and sideways. Got to get over 6.6. Get over 6.6 and the weekly high or low is set. Again, there's so many of these altcoins that are doing this tight weekly range. Trying for the weekly high or low. And if Bitcoin trades sideways and the dominance chart starts weekly consolidation, these altcoins are going to set weekly high or lows. All right. I'm going to wrap it up here and get back to the trading day. Hourly bear flags out there. QQQ. Hourly lower high set. That's a potential bear flag. SPY is a potential hourly bear flag. So Bitcoin looking like that may lead to 4-hour consolidation. Inside bar, inside bar. And then maybe we try that inverse head and shoulders I was talking about. But this is the first daily consolidation we've seen in the broader market in the last week plus. So just keep an eye out as far as how significant it's going to be. All right, I appreciate you all tuning in. Thanks for the likes, all 79 of you. Check out those indicators. Again, we got a website page with a 3-4 minute video on all of them. Then we got the video I put out yesterday, so you can check out that information. And you certainly know I use backburners all the time, but some other good ones in there as well. If I were still in KRE, I would be out. Well, I'd probably let the bear flag try and play out. I was going to say I'd be out another 1/3 of that position, but it's a bear flag. All right. Appreciate you watching. Do good things. A lot of content recently. Did the webinar last week about the routines and habits and flow state. I did the day in the life video over the weekend. So make sure and explore our YouTube channel. I know a lot of you support us and follow us, but so many videos are missed by people just because they don't poke around on our YouTube channel. There's a lot of videos there.